So, good evening, afternoon, morning, whatever it is when you're watching this. It's my first video in about 3 months. So, sorry for anybody that's been waiting in anticipation for a video. Life's been kind of busy. I recently switched jobs, which entailed a move from where I was living in Florida up to Georgia. So I had to pack and sell a house, drive up here, buy a house, move in, get the kids in school, and get all that stuff taken care of, new doctors, and all that good fun stuff. So I took some time off to take care of all that stuff. Kind of settled in a couple weeks ago. As you can see, it's my new studio. I'm going to have some more stuff coming. Trying to get this a little bit more professionalized. Kind of like doing them. So I think I'm going to keep doing them, but I want it to look, I don't want you to have to look at my bedroom and all that good fun stuff. So recently deleted my Facebook page. I'm totally off of all social media with the exception of Parler. I don't consider YouTube a social media thing, but I'm starting to look at alternatives to that. One of them being BitChute, another one being Rumble. So I've got a channel up on BitChute now. I've just created it yesterday, so I'm still kind of messing around with that one. So once I get that one in full swing, then I'll probably make the switch over to BitChute as far as posting content and that kind of stuff. The reason why is because Facebook, as an example, I went through a couple of months ago and then deleted everybody off my Facebook page that I didn't know in real life. Left me with about 220 people, pardon me, on my friends list. So I started noticing, I've been paying attention a lot within the last year about what Facebook's doing. Watched the Mark Zuckerberg trials, or his testimony, whatever you want to call it. Saw the lies that he did, just blatant outright lies to Congress. And then watching what's going on with Facebook, and my feed was like every second or third post was an ad. And no matter how many times you went through and blocked and hid and all that stuff, just more ads kept popping up. I was seeing the same 20, maybe 30 people max that I would see their posts from. I wouldn't see posts from other people, and I'd go kind of tool around my friends list and look at other people's pages, and lo and behold, they're posting. Now, you can talk someone up to where they've got me on ignore, or, whatever. I get that, but not everybody, not 170 people. I mean, I know I'm gruff and have a reputation for certain aspects of my personality, but I'm not that bad. Then with the stuff going on with the fact checking, or quote fact checking, the lies being perpetuated. I noticed like anybody who made a post about mail-in ballots, whether you were pro or anti mail-in ballots, was regardless, this little banner kept popping up. You had to close it to actually see comments or whatever. So I'm just done with it. My initial thought was to fight it, stand up against the man, that kind of stuff. But then I'm like, I'm one person with 200 friends. They got, hundreds of millions of people that use the system. I'm not even a drop in a bucket. I'm a molecule of a drop in the ocean compared to what they do. So my way to fight it is not use it. You got to keep in mind, there's a saying, I can't remember where it came from or who made it, but if you have to pay for it, what you pay for is the product. If it's free, you're the product. And that's exactly what the tech tyrants are doing. I've watched a lot of insiders giving information about what happens inside these tech oligarchs or these tech tyrants, whatever you want to call them, and you're the product they're selling. They're selling the number of views and clicks they have to advertisers who pay Facebook or YouTube or whomever to put their ads, on Facebook stuff or YouTube stuff or videos or whatever. I'm not a product. I'm a human being. I'm a person. I'm not going to be treated that way. So, friends and family, you have my phone number. You know how to get a hold of me. If you don't have my phone number, well, I'll just leave it at that. So anyway, I'm totally off the social media with the exception of Parler. Parler's okay. It's very echo chamberish. You don't really see much from anybody that's, central or further to the left. So it's okay. I mean, there are some people that post some decent articles and decent information, but there's a lot of people. I mean, just as you have the fringe on the left, you have the fringe on the right to believe every conspiracy thrown at them. It's kind of crazy how people are taken in by fake shit. I mean, there's you can have an opinion about stuff. You can have your theories about stuff, and that's fine. But when you're presented with facts or truth or data that is in direct opposition to your theory or your opinion, well, that's where you need to be the adult and okay, accept the fact that your opinion was off or 180 out, wrong, whatever. And if you don't believe what's presented to you, research it yourself and go find out. See if it's right or see if it's wrong. Just because CNN posts an article that supports you and Fox produces an article that's in opposition to your opinion doesn't mean you're right. It doesn't mean you're wrong. You could be both at the same time. You could have some facts that are correct and some facts that are wrong. But anyway, so people's opinions. I was just done with social media to bottom line it. So anyway, I'm done. I'm off. Picked up a book the other day for the first time in months. It was refreshing. I kind of fell asleep before I got too far into it, but whatever. So this video is going to be a little bit short, but the one topic I wanted to address, today's the 14th of September, 2020, and there's the big news of the day for the last couple of days is all the fires going on the West Coast. So, okay, there's always fires somewhere. Nature's nature. That's the way nature cleans house. That's the way nature replenishes the nutrients that go in the ground. It's been going on since the dawn of time. We all hope we all understand and agree to that. So there are some areas that are more prone to fires because the people that manage that areas don't do controlled burns. They don't manage the underbrush. The underbrush is what is the kindling. That's the tinder for the fire. Those the stuff around the base of trees or whatever. Those are what cause and perpetuate the fire. You keep that under control. A living tree, a live living tree, is not just going to burn. It's live. It's wet. You guys should hopefully know greenwood, right? The only way to get the live trees to burn like they do in forest fires is if there is enough heat from the kindling tinder, all of the undergrowth, to cause all the water in the tree to evaporate. Therefore, it starts to burn. It turns to gas. The gas burns, etc. So, that all being said, there's no way that any of this is natural. No way. Some of it, sure. Some of it unintentional accidents, sure. But as many fires as there are burning right now, no way. And first and foremost, to you people that are, of the belief that it's, climate change, look at a map of the current fires. It's amazing how climate change stops fires at a border. Look at the border between the United States and Canada out on the West Coast. All the fires stop at the border. They're not burning into Canada. It's amazing. I mean, so is it an intelligent climate change? Is that where we're going now? Kind of like the intelligent coronavirus that can't tell the difference between a voting line and a shopping line. Just me. So anyway, I started looking into it. I was going to do this whole thing, share my window with you guys and everything, but I'll just kind of talk you through it for now. So there are articles from news sources, actual news outlets out in the West Coast. People are being arrested for arson. This isn't making national news, but it's making local news. KEZI out in Oregon, there's articles of people being arrested as far back as July KGW.com or KGW8, more people being arrested as of September the 14th. There's another one from the Gateway Pundit, September the 11th, 2 people arrested for arson out on the West Coast. There's also there's an article on king5.com about power poles being cut with chainsaws. They're not being cut down, they're being cut. So to sum the article up, they're hoping that they do enough damage to the pole. If a strong wind or whatever comes by and knocks the pole over, it pulls the electrical lines down with them and starts fires. And there's actual pictures and videos of these cut power poles. So the evidence is overwhelming that these fires are not natural. They're man-made. There's caches of gasoline cans, propane tanks, wine bottles with fuel in them or some type of petrochemical in them. There's people that have glass bottles with paper in them. If you've done any outdoorsy type stuff, one way you can start a fire is with a magnifying glass and a piece of paper, right? You hold the magnifying up far enough, you get the beam small enough, you catch the paper on fire. It's the same concept, it's the same theory. There's a video came out just today or yesterday where a woman held a suspect at gunpoint for trying to start a fire. There's a couple of sheriffs out on the West Coast, Oregon, mainly, that are coming out. They're finding caches of this stuff. Now, whether they're hoping that there's a fire nearby, somebody starts a fire nearby and it catches these accelerants on fire, or they're stashed there for later use to start more fires. Well, then it kind of clicked with me. I remembered a while back there were articles about ISIS coming out and saying one of their what should happen in the United States, if you will, is for the terrorist cells or the ISIS sympathizers, whatever, in the United States to start fires in the fields and forests of the U.S. There was an article published in May of 2019. I believe that was Fox that did that article. Nope, this was 2020. I think I got together, or hstoday.us is the one from 2019 where it's talking about ISIS saying, one of the methods they can use to create havoc, discontent, and terrorism in the United States is to start wildfires all across the United States. Anyway, there's 3, 4, 5 articles just on a real quick search. By the way, I don't use Google, I use DuckDuckGo. So, I'd say Google it, but don't. You can say duck it, I guess. But anyway, you won't get this kind of information on Google because I do side-by-side comparisons on a lot of searches I do, and it's eye-opening if you do that. One window Google, one window DuckDuckGo, one window Yahoo, whatever your search engines are, put in the exact same search term, use quotation marks too, and what comes back on the different search engines is, if you don't already know about this, and it kind of goes back to the tech tyrant thing, because obviously Google's part of this, it's kind of eye-opening. But anyway, so here we have ISIS for over a year ago is talking about one of their technique that should be used in the United States is wildfires, and all of a sudden now we have a bunch of wildfires going on in the United States, and we have several people being arrested for it, which doesn't make the mainstream news, other than Fox had an article or two about it. But you don't see this on the national news. The local news agencies are reporting it, but it's not making natural. And then it clicked. If you've done any research on Antifa, you should know, and I've made a couple of posts prior to me deleting my Facebook page, and I think I'm going to have to do a video on this too. But if you look at the origins of Antifa, where they derive their theology from, obviously it's all Marxist and socialist. There's no getting around it. It's self-admitted from them, as well as the founders of BLM being trained Marxists, but I digress. So anyway, all this clicks, all these fires going on, all of a sudden, there's been fires going on in California we've known about for a while, but all of a sudden now we have the state of Washington, we have Oregon, we have California burning, right? 40,000 people being evacuated, homes being burnt, etc. and then all of a sudden, this happens all of a sudden, and then it clicked about the stuff I remember about ISIS, and then it clicked. You need to go look up the ties / associations between ISIS and Antifa. Keeping in mind, Antifa is not just a United States thing. Antifa is global. Okay, they're all over Europe, all over Australia, the United States, Canada, etc. Right? Go research the ties between Antifa and ISIS. That's one of the reasons why I didn't put my window up, because I can show you. I have it pulled up right here. But anyway, you should go look into it. 1 + 1 always equals 2. Okay, it may be 0.5 + 0.5 + 1 in some instances. So some of these fires being natural fires and some of these fires being not natural. Okay, that's your 0.5 0.5. But go look into this. I'm not being facetious. I'm not saying I know everything, but it's too easy. So why would somebody do this, right? That's be a question. Oh, and these people, look what they're doing in the cities. They're burning, raping, looting. They took over Chad or Chaz, whatever it was called, in was that Portland, Seattle, whatever it was. Look at what they did. So they did all this stuff. They've been doing it in cities across the United States, and they're doing it indiscriminate of the people. I mean, there's people being hurt, homes being burnt, places of business being burnt to the ground, police or federal and state facilities being burned by Molotov cocktails and being taken over. This is just another tactic. It's just another tactic. So you have to keep in mind, and when you boil it all down, Antifa is straight up not just anti-capitalist. They are anti-American. They do not want to have everything that normal Americans have been raised to believe and to value, whether it be ethical value, moral value, economic value, whatever, right? They are completely 100% against. Antifa is an anti-American entity. It isn't just about capitalism. They're not there for the working man. That's not what they're there for. They're straight up communist, socialist, Marxist, which is in direct opposition to what the American value system is. The American value system is based off life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, and property. Okay? They being Antifa are 100% opposed to that. So why would it be out of the realm? They're already burning and looting cities and we're population centers. How is this even a stretch? It's not. It's just another tactic. They're doing everything to create hate, discontent, damage, everything they can to the United States to try to bring the United States down to their knees. That's what they're doing. And I'm going to leave one last subject on this, the whole defund the police movement thing. There's something that people need to keep in the back of their minds. The only reason that the Antifa hunting season hasn't come into fruition yet is because of the police. There are many, many citizens, many, many veterans, many, many people that are absolutely ready to take up arms and squash this, but they don't because of their respect of the law. I'm not talking about police officers, I'm talking respect of the law. You take that away because you think they're bad and they're out hunting black people and all the nonsense that Antifa and BLM are pushing. They're the only thing protecting you. Take it for what it's worth. Believe me or not. I'll leave that decision up to you, but they're the only thing protecting you. And with that, I'm going to say goodnight. So, good night.